Hello Trots fans and welcome to the first edition of Looking Back. The very cleverly named Looking Back, Mick, as we look back to the camera and we look back on the Oaks heats, which were held at Melton on Friday night just gone, and we're going to look ahead to the Oaks final on Friday night coming.
Yes, you've named that one well, Cody. You've done very well. We had over the shoulder, we tried a few different things, but we just want to introduce, I guess, the viewers into some of the footage and some of the big races that we've seen over the last week or so.
We're kicking it off with the first heat of the Oaks, and we're talking about the key runners going into the final. Now, it's Spectacular, who's drawn in gate 9, and Miss Graceland, Michael, drawn right alongside in gate number 8. They're the first two that we're going to have a real close look at. I guess just quickly touching on the gate speed of the frontline runners, you see She's a Sharpie fire out, and we see Any Beach Anywhere absolutely blister out of gate number 7 and find the top.
And quite importantly, she was able to therefore find leaders back when Spectacular came around. But notably of Spectacular, he was happy. Mick was just happy to amble out on Spectacular. And Chris Alford worked quite hard, I thought, to make sure he didn't get stuck on the pegs and just to ease out and be too wide in the running.
You see here Mick Stanley's gone 3 wide. He gets a ride into it here on the back of Kate Gaff on Lady Danger, who goes 3 wide ahead of Mick Stanley Spectacular. And from about the 1800 right round till about the 1200, he just ambles around the field. All the while, Chris Alford back in the field trailing Katari Yarra on Miss Graceland. So we'll just speed it up a little bit here, Mick, and we see Mick come round, and he eventually runs to the top. So at about the 1200 metre mark, Spectacular now works to the lead, has been 3 wide for about 600 metres to this point.
Yep, a decent amount of work, and then you can see that Chris sort of certainly gave, I think, in some ways, Miss Graceland a bit of an easier time of it. It wasn't until they got around I don't know if you got a meterage here, Code, but the bend for the last time that Miss Graceland joined and chased for the breeze seat.
Look at the way when Miss Graceland hooks out at about the 1800, just accelerates with force, comes up, gets to the chair, and at this stage it's Spectacular v Miss Graceland, which I think we all thought would be the way it panned out. We can fast forward it a bit now, and they've come off the back and they're approaching the turn, and you see Mick Stanley starting to call, and this is important, starting to call on Spectacular, but I don't think she responds as well as, well, it's fact, she didn't respond as well as we've seen her do in the past.
Yep, absolutely, and Miss Graceland really did loom, and I think there's a little bit of urgency. Often we've seen Mick be able to just relax and enjoy the ride on Spectacular as he takes her home, but in this case he had to really work and really push her on so that she could use all that strength that she has to keep Miss Graceland out. But the reality is she got the job done, as she often does, and so that's the 6th time these two have gone head to head. On every occasion, Spectacular's finished in front of Miss Graceland. It's worth noting that Miss Graceland has only had 10 starts. The other 4 that haven't involved Spectacular, she's won them all. So every time she's tackled Spectacular, she's always been behind Spectacular, who's just sort of muscled her way to the front. And Miss Graceland's never quite been able to run her down. And
Chris Alford did take to Twitter after that Oaks heat and said if we can draw a good barrier for the final, then Miss Graceland, in his opinion, can turn the tables on Spectacular. For that, we'd need to see probably Spectacular to draw worse than Miss Graceland, obviously, and Spectacular does have a bad record of drawing poorly in the big finals. Having said that, she's probably due for a good draw, so we'll find out more about that. Any Beach Anywhere and She's a Sharpie, I thought they battled on pretty well, but they're tier 2, I think, Michael. I think Spectacular and Miss Graceland are the only 2 horses with a serious winning chance in the final from Heat 1.
Would agree as well. I think in Heat 2 we probably saw 1 or 2 who might be on the fringes of being able to compete with them. I think in particular perhaps we're looking at Ki Yang Secret.
Yep. Drawn in 8, so following out Santa Cruz, who's got really good gate speed, and the Sydney side, who's a Group 1 winner in Sydney, the Breeders' Challenge winner, she's
all apples.
She's all apples. Guilty Hanover shows good speed here for Zach Phillips. Josh Aiken not keen to hand up to this horse.
And Josh Aiken, Santa Cruz can certainly play a role in the final. This is a horse that Josh can pretty much place wherever he wants off the front row. Outstanding gate speed.
Certainly does. And just at this point, before we roll the footage forward, we see now She's All Apples get round Guilty Hanover, run to the lead. Zach Phillips quickly realises, I want to have some cover. I don't want to be punching the breeze throughout. He grabs hold. This allows Jason Lee, who's in an awkward spot here, 3 pegs, to come off the fence with Ki Yang Secret. And now we've got She's All Apples in front for Jimmy Douglas, with Josh Aiken following on Santa Cruiser, and that's all done up coming around the outside, Mick.
And we can pretty much now fast forward to the final straight, because that's when the race is on in earnest, and it's really about Ki Yang Secret. challenge She's All Apples. And Santa Cruz is always there, always knocking on the door, but we haven't often seen that pace that would sort of suggest this is the sort of race she's going to win. It's the race she's going to often place in, but not so much win. On this occasion, Kiang Secret perhaps had done a little bit too much, and She's All Apples was able to just commandingly win.
She's All Apples got home in 55.3. She's an incredibly versatile filly. We've seen her win a Group 1 from back on the fence, 3 back to pegs. We've seen her sit in the breeze in a Group 3 race, I think it was, up in Sydney and win. She's so versatile. I think she can win the Oaks with the right trip. I also think Kiang Secret can still win. I've probably got Santa Cruz and Michael as one of the leaders of Tier 2.
Fair enough. She'll certainly be able to shape the race. You'd want to have her in your first fours, I would have thought.
Sure, it's going to be a great race. It's going to be the Oaks final Friday night. It's part of a huge card at Tabcorp Park, Melton. You can follow all the action at HRV News on Twitter, facebook.com/Harness Racing Victoria, channel 526 on Foxtel, and of course RSN on the radio. That's 927 AM. And until next time, that's about enough from us in the first edition of Looking Back.